Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christy with Van On Company. It's Friday, January 13th. I'm going to go over the markets with you for the day. Really quiet trade here into corn and Chicago wheat. So what I want to touch on is really this week has been two different stories. So you have your very quiet markets and you have your big movers. So your quiet markets, corn and Chicago wheat. So corn on the day closing up 1/4 cent. On the week, corn only moved 1/2 cent for the entire week. So very limited movement here into this market. Over into Chicago wheat on the day down 1/4 cent. Overall for the week up 2 3/4. So very quiet trade in those two markets, as fundamentally there's nothing really behind them. We know that there's large supplies. Different story here for soybeans and Minneapolis wheat. So soybeans up 6 cents on the week, or 6 cents on the day. Overall for the week up 56.5 cents. Huge move here in soybeans. So really wanted to touch base on soybeans. Why you had that big move that you did is really over the last couple weeks. I feel like you've built into this market sellers coming into Thursday's crop report, yesterday's crop report, expecting to get some really bearish information out of that, and you didn't get that. Not that you got bullish information. Now you definitely did not get that. You're looking at a carryout of 420 million bushel here on soybeans, so no bullish information there. Everything in South America still looks great, but you didn't get the bearish information people were expecting. So I think a lot of short positions were lifted. I think you had some index funds activity also, and what that did is push the soybean market up towards the top end of the range that we've seen a couple different times here since harvest. Over into Minneapolis wheat, up 8 1/4 on the week. Up 29.5 on the week, so up at 8 1/4 on the day, I should say. So really a lot of activity in Minneapolis wheat as they bid for some premium protein wheat here. It's been able to separate itself against the other weeks. Moving into the meat markets, live cattle up just over $1 on the day. For the week up 3.70. Feeder cattle up 12.5 cents on the day, but as a whole for the week up just over $2. Lean hogs down 35 cents, up $1.62.5 on the week. So some good moves here into the cattle market as well, as you really started to push this. Cutout values have been all over the place for cattle and hogs, so really those futures have been big movers here, but it looks like fund activity also wants to play a role here, especially in live cattle, and it's been able to stick around. We need cash trade to stay supportive to be able to get there. Outside markets didn't offer a whole lot of information. Next week will be a big week, and then the week leading forward as far as those outside movements. You had a new Congress in place. You have some different roles coming forward, and then next week, at the end of next week, we will have a new president. And so that's going to offer a lot of information as far as those outside markets go, and those can play a role here into these grain markets and meat markets, so we'll have to keep a role on that. Other than that, moving forward, what we're going to be watching demand. One thing to touch on is soybeans actually finally got a private sale here this morning. This is the first private sale here since December 21st, and so that's probably why you saw some support. You were actually 6 cents lower before you got that sales announcement, and that was able to push it a little bit higher on the day. I do have to close with the disclaimer: trading in futures and options involves risk of loss and will not be suitable for all producers. Have a great weekend.